Have you ever wondered how cultural differences can impact the workplace? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? In our globally connected world, understanding these differences is more crucial than ever. It's not just about being politically correct or ticking off a diversity box. It's about enriching our perspectives, enhancing communication, and fostering an inclusive environment where everyone feels valued. In this episode, we're going to delve into the fascinating world of cultural diversity in the workplace. We'll explore how communication styles vary from culture to culture, and how understanding these differences can prevent unnecessary confusion. We'll look at the spectrum of work ethics, illuminating how attitudes towards punctuality and deadlines can differ. We'll also touch on the subtleties of office etiquette, from greeting rituals to personal space and dress codes. And of course, we'll discuss how to handle conflicts respectfully and build strong professional relationships amidst these differences. So, let's dive in and explore how to navigate cultural differences in the workplace. Communication is key in any workplace, but what happens when employees come from different cultural backgrounds? Let's dive a bit deeper into this. Cultures around the world have diverse ways of expressing themselves. In some, the communication style is direct and straightforward. They say what they mean and mean what they say. There is little room for interpretation as the message is typically clear and unambiguous. On the other hand, other cultures employ a more indirect approach. They may rely on context, nonverbal cues, and subtle hints to convey their thoughts. Their messages often require interpretation and understanding of the broader context. Here's how you can navigate these differences. If you're dealing with a direct communicator, be prepared for candid feedback. Don't take it personally. It's just their way of ensuring clarity. When interacting with indirect communicators, pay attention to the nuances. Their words might be saying one thing, but their tone, body language, or even silence could be telling a different story. A practical tip is to mirror the communication style of the person you're interacting with. If they're direct, respond directly. If they're more nuanced, take the time to understand the context and respond thoughtfully. But remember, it's not just about mirroring their style. It's about understanding and respecting their cultural perspective. And don't forget to be patient. It might take a little time to get used to these different styles, but the effort is well worth it. Remember, the goal of communication is understanding, so be patient and open-minded. Work ethics can vary greatly from one culture to another. Have you noticed this in your workplace? Let's take a closer look at these differences and how they can manifest in the office. In some cultures, punctuality is highly valued. Arriving on time or even early for meetings and appointments is seen as a sign of respect and professionalism. On the other hand, in other cultures, time might be viewed more flexibly. Meetings might start a bit later than scheduled, and it's not considered a major issue. Similarly, attitudes towards deadlines can also be culturally influenced. Some cultures place a high emphasis on meeting strict deadlines, considering them as non-negotiable. Others, however, may prioritize relationships and understanding over rigid timeframes, believing that flexibility can lead to better outcomes. Work-life balance is another area where cultural differences can be seen. In certain cultures, employees might be expected to dedicate most of their time and energy to their work, often at the expense of personal time. In contrast, other cultures may emphasize a more balanced approach, encouraging employees to invest equally in their personal and professional lives. Understanding these differences is key. It's not about judging which approach is better or worse, but rather recognizing that these differences exist and learning to navigate them with respect. So, how can you do this? Start by observing and listening to your colleagues. Ask questions if you're unsure. And most importantly, be open-minded and understanding. Being aware of these nuances can help you better understand your colleagues and create a more harmonious work environment. Office etiquette might seem like a small thing, but it can play a big role in how comfortable we feel at work. When we talk about office etiquette, we're referring to the accepted behaviors and norms in a workplace. This can include greeting rituals, personal space, and even dress codes. These can vary greatly from one culture to another. For example, in some cultures, a firm handshake is a standard greeting, while in others, a respectful bow might be more appropriate. Similarly, perceptions of personal space can differ. In some regions, standing close to someone is seen as friendly, while in others it's considered intrusive. And let's not forget about dress codes. While some workplaces might encourage casual attire, others might require more formal dress. The key is to observe and adapt. Pay attention to how your colleagues interact and dress. Being mindful of these differences can help you fit in better and avoid unintentional faux pas. Misunderstandings can happen in any workplace, but how we handle them can make all the difference. Let's dive into the importance of handling conflicts in a culturally sensitive way. It's a skill that requires empathy, patience, and a willingness to learn. When a misunderstanding arises, it's easy to react defensively, but that can often escalate the situation. Instead, consider approaching the issue with a desire to understand and resolve. Firstly, try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. Their actions or words may be influenced by cultural norms that you might not be familiar with. So instead of jumping to conclusions, take a step back and try to understand where they're coming from. Secondly, communicate openly but respectfully. Express your point of view, ensuring to convey that your intention is not to blame, but to understand and find a solution. Remember, different cultures express disagreement in different ways, and what might seem polite to you might come across as confrontational to another. Thirdly, be open to feedback. It's a two-way street. You might also be unknowingly crossing a cultural line. Accept feedback graciously and consider it a learning opportunity. Lastly, seek help if needed. If you're unable to resolve the conflict, don't hesitate to involve a neutral third party, like a manager or HR representative. They can provide guidance and ensure fairness. When conflicts arise, remember to listen, understand, and respect each other's perspectives. Building strong professional relationships is key to a successful career. But how can cultural differences impact this? When we think about professional relationships, we often focus on the skills and shared goals that bring us together. But in a diverse work environment, understanding your colleagues' cultural backgrounds can also play a significant role in strengthening teamwork and collaboration. Imagine having a colleague from a culture that values community and mutual support. Understanding this can help foster a more cooperative and supportive work environment. Or perhaps you have a team member from a culture that values individual achievements and competition. Recognizing this can help you better appreciate their drive and ambition. So, how can you build strong relationships in a diverse work environment? Firstly, take the time to learn about your colleagues' cultures. This could be as simple as asking about their traditions or reading up on their cultural norms. This not only shows respect, but it also offers valuable insights into their mindset and approach to work. Secondly, be open and adaptable. Understand that different cultures may have different ways of doing things. By being flexible, you can find common ground and work together more effectively. Lastly, show empathy. Recognize that navigating a different culture can be challenging. By showing understanding and patience, you can help create an environment where everyone feels valued and included. By understanding and respecting cultural differences, we can create a more inclusive and productive workplace. Navigating cultural differences at work can be challenging, but also rewarding. We've journeyed through understanding varied communication styles, respecting diverse work ethics, and adapting to distinct office etiquette. We've learned how to handle conflict with respect and the importance of building strong professional relationships in a multicultural environment. Remember, diversity is a strength. By embracing cultural differences, we can learn, grow, and succeed together. Keep these points in mind, and you'll be well equipped to navigate the colorful tapestry of cultures in the workplace.